Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to discuss about expenses. On a daily basis, we see different kinds of expenses into a fund. An expense is one of the most important and one of the most crucial topic when it comes to fund accounting. In a fund, we can see multiple kind of expenses. I will go in details about those. First, we need to understand what are the generic characteristics of an expense. First, expense is a liability to a fund. Generally, we accrue expenses on a daily basis. Expense payment can be monthly, quarterly, or yearly based on what is there in the prospectus of the fund. So, when we start a fund or when we onboard a new fund, it is very important to read the prospectus clearly because in the prospectus only it will be mentioned what are the expenses are going to be charged into the fund, when we can expect the payments of the expenses, and what will be the percentage for the expenses. So now we will move across what are the types of expenses we generally see. Generally, we see two types of expense. One is fixed expense and one is variable expense. So now it comes the question, what is a fixed expense? So when the amount of the expense to be charged is predetermined and fixed, then it will be known as a fixed expense. So what are the examples of a fixed expense? Fixed expense can be audit fee, mortgage fee, tax fee and legal fee. So what happens in these cases, that whatever is the expense to be charged into the fund, that will be predetermined and there is no other factor on which the expense is dependent. So let me give you an example. Suppose there is a fund which is ABC fund. In that fund prospectus it is mentioned that the audit fee, yearly audit fee, will be $5,000. So that means 1 year the fund will be charged $5,000 as part of a audit fee. Now how you are going to charge it on a daily basis? So first of all, as you understand from a fund concept, we cannot on a year end charge total $5,000 from take out from the fund, right? That is going to impact my NAV drastically if I charge it on a one particular day. So what I am going to do to reduce the impact, I am going to distribute this expense throughout the year so that I will not have a hit into the NAV on that particular day. So what I am going to do is, let's say it is a year which generally it will be having 365 days. Why it is very important to see which year it is? Because if it is a leap year, let's say when it was 2020 or when it was 2016, so those years were leap years. So on leap year you will have 366 days. So on that days your this calculation is going to change. So I am taking normal, which is a common 365 days. Then what will be your daily accrual for this audit fee? So it is very simple. It will be 5,000 divided by 365, which is $13.69 on a daily basis into the fund. What happened in this case is, if you accrue the expense on a daily basis only 13.69, then it is not going to impact your NAV very drastically. So that is what will be the charged into the fund, and as this expense amount is fixed, so throughout the year you will be charging only 13.69. It is not going to change based on how much your total net asset is, how much your AUM is. So that's why this kind of expenses are called as a fixed expense. Fixed expense amount will be always mentioned into the prospectus. Sometime also if it is a new fund it will be mentioned into the prospectus, but later maybe if it is a ongoing funds and active funds, sometime client might also send you an instruction stating that we had audit fee of $5,000, this year we are going to reduce it to 4,000, or next year we are going to increase it to 7,000, based on that instruction. And then you also have to calculate, let's say they sent you an instruction in November that from 1st January 2023 my audit fee accrual is going to become 6,000. per year. So then you have to make sure that okay, from 1st January 2023 my per day accrual is going to change, and accordingly you need to calculate. Now I will tell you one example. Now suppose this audit fee is a quarterly payment, it happens for this audit fee. So in April mid you are getting a instruction for the audit fee payment. So how you are going to calculate it? So when April mid you are getting a payment, the payment will be for 31st March, but this will be for Q1. So for Q1 quarter means what? Jan it will have 31 days, Feb it will have 28 days, and March it will have again 31 days. So total number of days is going to be 90 days. Now you need to see how much you have accrued in Q1. So if your per day accrual is 13.69, and if I take for Q1 it is 90 days, 90 into my per day accrual is my Q1 accrual in total. So in total Q1 in ABC fund for audit fee I have accrued 1232. So you need to make sure when the payment instruction come, payment instruction also should be of this amount. If it is a fixed expense, actually it exactly matches. Sometime why it is important is, sometime you can see that the payment instruction what came it is for $1000, then there is a good amount of difference. So if you see there is a difference of $232, and it is not like one day accrual difference or something like that, it is a big accrual difference. In those cases don't blindly go ahead and post the payment, like you are posting this payment of 1000, and suppose if you are posting a payment of 1000 and if you are reducing your accrual only to the extent of 1000, so that is also another thing you have to do. Suppose you have a accrual, so this instruction came in April, right? I told you that this payment instruction for you came in April. So you would have if it comes on 23rd April, then in that case you have a total accrual of this which is for Q1, and you would have also accrued for 23 days in April. So you have a total accrual for 90 days in Q1 plus 23 days in April. When you are making a payment of $1000, you are reducing it only to the extent of $1000. So this $223 you are carry forwarding into Q2. So that is one of a problem. First of all, you need to understand whenever you see there is a difference between the accrual and the payment, first point is you need to see how much is the difference. If the difference is like this, which is 200 or 300, which is more than 1 or 2 days accrual, okay, because I know my per day accrual is $13. If it is more than that, the best process is don't process the payment, go ahead and ask client that why this is there is a difference, because as per the instruction we know the total accrual yearly should be 5000, and as per that we are daily charging $13. So based on that my Q1 payment should have been $1200. Instead I see it is only sent $1000. So why it is? There can be a situation that uh, the fixed expense amount has changed, which client has forgot to inform. So many time it happens. So in those cases when you go ahead and ask this question, then they will send you a revised instruction that okay, we missed to inform you, instead of 5000 it should have been 4000 or 4700, whatever it is. If they confirm you that, then you can also inform the client that okay, based on this I will be also, I have a accrual of 2000 uh, 12 1232, but I am paying this much amount and I am going to remove this $232 of accrual as well, because if there is a situation that this is I am going to reduce it on this day, this is how it is going to impact the NAV, and clearly inform that to the client. So what happens in that way, you are at par with the client and everything is clear. Suppose you also don't take this situation, you also don't go ahead and query it to client, and you go ahead and just process it. So for FQ1 you will have 232 extra. For Q2 you will have last quarter 232 and this quarter 232. You will have total $464 extra. So like that, by the year end you will accumulate, you will carry forward so much accrual from your last quarter, it will be too much of accrual. And every day if you are charging so much, right, it is a liability from the fund. So you are telling it is a payable, you have to pay it, it should be a liability. So you are undervaluing your NAV in that way. So if you are doing that, you are, if you're not querying it to client and if you're undervaluing your NAV, maybe it is a small impact on a daily basis. But if you get to know that there was a issue in the expense, you get to know after 7 months or 8 months, when client sometime they're going through the trial balance or something and they get to know about it, then it will be a big impact into your fund. So that's why this exercise is one of the most important exercise in fund accounting. Whenever you get an expense payment instruction, always check what was your accrual for that quarter. If that accrual is in line with your payment, then go ahead and process it. If you see it is not in line with your payment, then query. There can be another scenario which I will mention here. Sometime I have seen, like many time actually I have seen that let's say 30 March and 31st March is a Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so in those cases what client is going to do, if for Q1 payment, sometime they will take it till 29th of March. So for 2 days, so if I take approximately $13 is your approximate per day accrual, right? So 13 into 2, $26 difference will be there from the accrual and the payment. So it is a very small amount. Let's say your payment instruction which has came, it is for $1,206. So you can see you have accrued for 1,232 and here you can see 1,206. So there is a difference between $26. You can then immediately you should see why there is a 2 days accrual is less, why there is a payment is left for 2 days. Then many a time I have seen that the month end is falling on a weekend. So then what they are going to do in the next, in Q2 payment when they send, that time instead of, let's say for Q2 instead of 90 days, that time they will be sending 92 days. On that cases also you also should carry forward. So you also should make a payment of $1,206 and rest of the amount you should carry forward into the next quarter. So that's why I took some time to explain about the fixed expenses. I know many a time we think that okay, fixed expenses is very easy, it is like a very simple one, you don't have so much of calculation, so we don't have to worry about it. It is true, but these kind of scenarios sometimes cause issue also into the fund. So be careful about this kind of scenario. It is very simple, it takes like 2 to 3 minutes to check. And if you are in doubt, one thing I will tell you from my experience that it is all, if you get a doubt, if you process the payment and drop the accrual and then you are trying to do some changes, the NAV impact is going to be more there. If you have a doubt in any of the payment instruction, my suggestion would be don't process that payment straight away, because if you are not processing the payment, you are having the NAV impact same way what you are calculating on a daily basis. Get a clarification from the client and then go ahead and process the payment when you are 100% sure about it. So this is something what I discussed about the fixed expenses. Now I am going to discuss about the variable expenses. What is a variable expense? Variable expense is something when the expense is directly related to the total net asset or the asset under management of the fund. That's why this expense is called variable. So based on your total net asset of the fund or based on your AUM of the fund, your expense also per day is going to change. So that's why it is variable. So example of the variable fee can be custody fee, management fee, admin fee, performance fee. For custody fee, actually, in my experience, I have seen custody fee to be fixed as well, and I have seen custody fee to be variable as well. So it depends on the fund. For some of the funds, custody fee will be variable because based on how much asset custody is holding, they will be charging. But there are scenarios I have seen where custody fee is a fixed expense as well. But majorly, I have seen custody fee will be goes into the variable fee only. Now, giving you an example of a variable fee, let's take what generally we see like almost in the every fund, which is the management fee. So, if a management fee is charged on a 0.5% of the total net asset, so many a time it happens that the total net asset means the prior day valuation. Okay. So your prior day closing, whatever you have closed, on that 0.5% will be your expense or management fee for your current day. Generally, for the performance fee, we will be seeing that it is based on your current day total net asset. That's why when we calculate the performance fee, there will be a concept of a gap and a NAV. So gap will be your gross asset value. So generally what we do is we will be calculating the NAV, then we will be checking how much is the performance fee, and on the performance we will take out the performance fee and we will release the final total net asset. So I will be creating a separate video on performance fee because this is not the correct forum to give you details about performance fee. It is a very big topic. So today I am going to just explain you about management fee, how it works, and a very basic level. So if the management fee is 0.5% of a total net asset, and let's assume that on 26th of October 2022, a fund total net asset is 15 million. Now, as I said that the management fee is 0.5% of the total net asset. So on this 15 million, I am going to have 0.5%, which is going to be 75,000. So this 75,000 is my yearly management fee for that particular fund. So how it is going to calculate is whatever is 0.5%, I am not going to charge it on a daily. So this is the total management fee. Now based on that you need to arrive at what will be your daily management fee. So that 75,000 divided by 365 days going to be 205.48. So that is going to be my per day management fee. So on a next day, let's say my total net asset has moved up little bit. So on that I will be having 0.5%, and based on that whatever amount will come, that I need to divide it by 365 days to arrive at what is my management fee for the next day. So it is directly proportionate to my total net asset movement. If my total net asset is going high, my management fee will be going high. If my total net asset is going low, my management fee is also going low. So it is a clear example the manager of a fund will charge himself based on how good my fund is performing. If my fund's total net asset is high, management fee is going to be high. And if the fund is not performing well and the total net asset is going low, my fund's management fee also will going to go low. So this is the basic difference between the fixed and variable expenses. Hope I was able to clear your doubt. So for the variable expenses also we will have the similar kind of payment calculation what I have told you about the fixed expenses, but definitely for a variable expense you may not be able to do it the same way. But generally what we used to do is, let's say for a variable fee also you got a instruction of to pay for a Q1. Let's say for this particular example only, let's say you got for a Q1 that you need to pay $4,000. So in that basis also you are going to do the same calculation. So you will have that all the companies, for all the systems you will have a report ready where you can see how much is the management fee I have charged for this Q1. Or also another easiest way is, if you don't have any report or anything, if it is for Q1 you can just go ahead into your fund, open the trial balance or open the fund NAV for 31st March 2022, and then see how much the management fee was accrued. If it is from 1st January to 31st March, how much management fee you have accrued. If it is coming nearby to 4,000, if it is not off by too much amount, then you can go ahead and process the payment. Now if you see that how much you have accrued and how much you have paid, let's say you have accrued for 5,000. I'm just giving a gross example, 5,000 for Q1 and your payment is for 4,000. So the difference is 1,000. When you have a daily accrual of 205, 1,000 means the 5 days accrual is off. So that is not very usual. So in that cases, again you need to go ahead and ask, because so many time I have seen that there will be the change in the percentage, there will be some changes, or there can be a possibility also that how client has calculated the expense payment, that is also not correct. So you need to give your data that we have this, and based on this we have done the calculation and we have arriving at 5,000. I see your payment is 4,000, can you please check it from your end. So this is one of the important exercise, and I will recommend all of you to please make it a habit. Whenever there is a payment, process it very carefully. So my practice was, whenever there was a payment, I used to take extra time to process, check it. I used to do the review from one or two levels, like from one angle, okay, the payment has processed, accrual has dropped or not, how much is the NAV impact. If ideally there should not be any NAV impact, right? Because when you are processing a payment, accrual is dropping, so you are not having any NAV impact. We want to avoid the NAV impact on a payment. That's why we are doing the accrual on a daily basis. So those all things you need to keep in mind while you are performing the fund, checking the fund, and calculating or making a payment for an expense. Hope this was useful for you. In case you have any doubt for expenses, please leave it into the comment section. I will definitely answer your doubt and try to clarify your doubts, whatever it is. Thank you very much. Keep watching.